Forest Podcast is supported by viewers, listeners, and businesses just like you. Michelle Parno has lived and worked in Lake Forest for over 2 decades. Michelle's lending experience, when combined with her real estate expertise, makes her an invaluable asset to her clients as they navigate their home buying or selling process. Call Michelle now at 847-528-8721, 847-528-8721. For the best cannabis in the world, look no further than Iliad Epic Grow. Owned by Lake Bluff's own Rich Ruzich, they are a cannabis cultivation center focusing on hard-to-find small batch products that will delight both the occasional user and ganjier. When visiting Michigan, ask for it by name. Epic Products, exceptional process. For more information, email info@iliadgrow.com. Laracy & Company CPAs, founded in 2010 by Lake Forest's own Brian Laracy, specializes in tax preparation and bookkeeping services. Earning the People Love Us on Yelp award, their process is straightforward. Just upload, review, and file. For a free quote, visit LaracyCPA.com now. That's LARISEYCPA.com. I'm excited to share with you something special from our Lake Forest community, the Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa, located at 775 North Bank Lane in Lake Forest near Wisconsin Avenue. This just isn't any spa. They offer an amazing blend of traditional spa services plus the added benefit of medical procedures and treatments. In a relaxing and luxurious spa environment, you can enjoy a range of cosmetic and aesthetic treatments. These are all performed under the supervision of top medical professionals. The Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa provides skin care, facial rejuvenation, body contouring, laser hair removal, Botox, dermal fillers, chemical peels, and much more. What's great is that each treatment is tailored not just to enhance your appearance, but also to address specific skin concerns and to promote overall well-being. So if you're looking to pamper yourself and take your beauty routine to the next level, give the Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa a call at 224-768-8028 or visit them at their location on North Bank Lane. It's an experience your skin will thank you for. We'd also like to say we're thankful for our Patreon supporters, Otto, John C., Helen, Herrick, and J.M.
Hi.
There she is.
There I am. Hi.
Hey, hello.
Hello.
Is it Tosi?
Tosi
Tosi. Why'd you put another S in there?
She only needs one.
Joe, who is Tosi?
You know, for months now, people have been saying to me, you got to get Tosi on the show. You've got to get Tosi on the show. Tosi's on the show, so welcome.
Thank
Tosi.
you. Thank you guys for having me. I'm so humbled. Thank you so much.
Humbled. Whoa.
Humbled.
Well, we're humbled to have you here, so thank you. So, Tosi, pronounce your last name, because both names are a bit of a challenge for folks,
Yes,
and we want to
yes.
make sure we get it right here.
Of course. Thank you, sir. So my first name is Tosi. My last name is Ufodike. So if you just say Ufor, the letter D and K, that's how you say it. Nigerian.
Tosi.
Right. Well, thankfully, you're not running as a write-in candidate. Your name is on the ballot this November for state representative in the 51st district, which includes a good portion of Lake County, up to, doesn't include Lake Forest itself, but goes right up against Lake Forest, like Vernon Hills, that area. So I think a lot of our viewers and listeners do come from that area. So we're glad to have you on. You're running, like I said, you're running for state representative against how do you say her name?
Who cares?
Well,
So yes, Syed. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but you've also, let's talk about your background. You're an elected official now, a business owner. Tell us all about yourself.
Thank you. So yes, I am currently an elected official at Ela Township. I live in Hawthorn Woods with my husband and my 2 kids. You see their pictures.
Hey.
My daughter just graduated from Lake Zurich High School. Shout out to Lake Zurich. And she's off to college at Clemson University, my alma mater. And, basically, I'm a business owner, I'm a wife, I'm a mom. I've always been involved, grew up, my father's Nigerian, my mother's American. They met in America. My father came here legally. And, they had 4 beautiful children. I lived in Nigeria, then I came back to America and came back to South Carolina, where my mom's from, and grew up there. And it was a great experience, very conservative values. And, met my husband. And what brought me to Illinois was my husband works for Walgreens. And so we relocated here, and it's been amazing.
So why would you want to put yourself through, since you've had such a wonderful life and are having a wonderful life with wonderful family, why would you want to put yourself through running for state representative and all that goes with that?
Yeah, I have first of all, just so you know, I'm a Christian, and I always believe God directs my every step. And I've always been in whether when I was in college, I ran for student government president. I've always had a love and passion for politics and service. And when I see what's happening in our district, I don't think we're being represented correctly. And so, I prayed about it. Like I said, I'm currently an elected official, and I want to really serve and help our constituents, because a lot of people right now feel their voice is not being heard, and they feel like, their opinions don't matter. And our district is District 51 is an amazing district. As you said earlier, we're at the northwest suburbs. So my district goes from Hawthorn Woods, Lake Zurich, Killdeer, Deer Park, then that's Lake County. Then I have Cook County, Palatine, Inverness, a bit of Hoffman Estates. And, we're really, really a great district, but a lot of people just feel they're not being heard.
So your opponent won by only less than 3,000 votes last time. So this is a very close race. I mean, this is unfortunately not every election is close, and there's some it's like, why bother and everything. But you can win this. You can definitely win this, right?
By the grace of God, our district is very winnable. I'm out knocking doors every day, talking to independents, Democrats, Republicans. Everybody's excited when they meet me. They're ready for change. My slogan, help is on the way. A lot of people got their tax bill. They're upset about that. They're upset about the direction of schools. I'm a mom, I'm a parent. We own a childcare facility. Parents have a voice. Children have to be children. Parents have to be parents. We have to respect our educators and our teachers. But, we're out just pounding the pavement, talking to constituents. And they really, really are excited about this district. And it's very winnable. It's a tier 1 race. We're gonna win. We're gonna win by the grace of God.
What is a representative?
A representative, a representative is basically, we write laws, we help get them passed. We listen to our constituents, and we're really a voice for our district. So people have concerns, and I'm here to be their voice and make sure their interest is represented in Springfield.
So you have to go to Springfield, and you got to make sure. Okay. All right.
Yes.
So who's our person over here by Lake Forest, Joe?
Bob Morgan.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
See, I don't know who Bob Morgan is, but I know who you are.
All you got to know is Tosi Ufodike, Team Tosi. Yes, yes. But really, a lot of people, when it comes to local, and you guys probably know this, a lot of people care about the president, and that's important. But local elections is where, I live in Hawthorn Woods. I live in my district. Local elections are to me so important. And, a lot of people don't know their state reps, but it is important. This election is very important. We got to come out and vote. And, a lot of times in campaigns, a lot of lies are being told and about the person. And I am definitely going to represent everybody in the district when I win.
How do we get more people to pay attention? Like I do a podcast and I don't know. and the turnout for local elections is a lot lower than the national ones. And as you said, the local elections mean more to us here than the national ones.
Yeah.
What do you think it'll take to get more people to pay attention? Is it education? Is it mandatory education? Because I mean, it's if you have to do a driver's test to prove you can drive, should there be a voter's test to prove that you know how to vote?
That would be great. But, I think people are starting to pay attention, especially because a lot of things that people thought were national issues are becoming local issues. Immigration, the border crisis. Oh, people used to think it's a Texas issue, Arizona, but now, it's coming to Illinois. And, taxes, their schools, what's happening, what's being taught. So more and more people, when it affects people individually and they see that, wow, they really have a voice. I've voted since I got, was able to vote, I voted in every election because I always feel like I want my voice heard. How does that happen? With voting. And I've been behind a lot of voter drives. I've tried to encourage my mom friends, it is important. Local elections is important. So we have to have more education. We have to have more funding put on this. They needs to be more things like you guys are doing. And that's why I appreciate having local candidates on. I think it's great. It's really great. I was at a breakfast this morning and, Judge Scalise was there and it was a fundraiser really. I saw Jim Karras, who's an amazing candidate. He was on your show and we were just talking about how great this is that you do this. So thank you guys.
So small business, okay, let's kind of get it where people can relate and understand. You run a small business, okay? Childcare? What are you, crazy? All right, so you small business and laws that get passed that nobody's paying attention to because unfortunately we're in Illinois and look, Joe knows he's forgotten more about politics than I'll ever know. I don't have the patience for it, but this stuff just gets if you're on the other side of the aisle, I'm under the impression that when laws get put up, it's like, all right, here it is the night before. Here's 1,500 pages. You got to go through it and you got to learn it, and then you have to make a judgment on it. If you're having a small business and stuff like that is happening, and you're more conservative, conservative means, I'd like to keep some of my money more than give it to you, right? So if you're running a small business and you're not paying attention to local elections, can you kind of relate how some things that have happened in the past that have cost you more money, and in turn you have to pass it along to the consumer or the voter, that if you don't pass it on, you don't raise the prices, then you can't do the business anymore.
Yeah, and one of the things that really affects small businesses, and we've been out knocking doors and talking to small business owners, including myself, is just everything is up, like taxes, our business taxes. It's like business owners feel, and a lot of them, unfortunately, say they want to leave the state and do other things just because the cost of doing business is so high. And we don't want to pass that on to customers because people are with the gas prices and the price of eggs, people are already feeling that pinch. But then in order to survive, you got to sometimes raise the prices, and it's just a never-ending cycle. Government spending, we gotta, in Springfield, they just passed a $53.1 billion budget, and it's like government spending just keeps growing and small businesses keep shrinking. And as small businesses, we're the heartbeat of America, and there has to be some type of partnership. I always say in Illinois, I wish everybody that was in Springfield was a business owner, because the way we think, we have to live by a budget. We have to cut costs. Sometimes we have to make tough decisions because we can't just spend. And in Springfield, sometimes I feel like it's just never ended cycle of spending and not really listening to what's going on from a business perspective. I knocked doors last week and I was talking to a business owner and he said, it's killing me, taxes. It's just, I can't do it anymore. And I told him help is on the way, please, helped me get elected, and he was so happy that I was a small business owner. But it's tough. It's tough in Illinois. Very
We've
tough.
had the highest, if you look at all the tax rates and all the different types of taxes,
Yeah.
Illinoisans pay the highest percentage of their household income in state and local taxes in the country. And not so coincidentally, we have the highest outbound migration rate in the country. So people are leaving Illinois, and even people that are staying in Illinois, you know, if you're close enough to the Wisconsin state line, like a lot of people are in Lake County, you know, it's cheaper to buy gas in Lake County. It's cheaper to go shopping in Lake County. So a lot of time, excuse me, cheaper to go to Wisconsin than Lake County. Now, it's cheaper in Lake County than Cook County, but that's another story. But it's cheaper to buy stuff in Wisconsin than it is in Illinois. And that's got to take its toll on a lot of businesses like yours.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, we have to keep bringing up these issues because the media sometimes doesn't want to cover it. Right now in Springfield, Republicans are the super minority, and it's tough. Our House leader works hard to try and push things along, but it's tough when you're the super minority. Right now, Illinois sometimes acts as a one-party state, and Republicans are out there. We need that balance. You know, when I win the 51st district, and I'm asking everybody, I would love to earn their support, their votes, but we need that balance, and we need that fiscal conservative responsibility when it comes to just budget and taxes. We have to watch every dollar that we spend because it is hurting a lot of not only businesses, but just residents. You know, they can't make it. It's tough.
So we mentioned your opponent a minute ago, Nabila Syed, who again was elected by less than 3,000 votes, very close. The district had previously had Republican state representatives. So again, this is a very competitive race here. In addition to the stuff we've talked about, the economic stuff, the taxes, she actually has gone even worse on an issue that I think concerns a lot of us. It concerns me. We had Andy Dalkin on the show last week. Andy's Jewish. You know, we had there was a resolution, and I know it's the state and foreign policy is more the national stuff, but as you said, national issues do often become state issues these days. But she was one of only, I believe, 16 Democratic state legislators to vote for a resolution or sign a letter. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but basically, like saying Hamas was okay. I mean, and blaming Israel and saying, you know, the issue is not Hamas. They're not the problem. And I personally find that infuriating.
I do too.
But, and even like, you know, Pete asked who our state rep is, Bob Morgan, who is Jewish. I have issues with Bob on economic and taxes, but Bob Morgan would never have signed a letter like that. But your opponent, Nabila Syed, did. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about it because I just want to say, I don't know if you guys see my Israel flag with the US. I stand unequivocally with Israel. Of course,
need a pin.
Yeah, you need a pin.
We're gonna get him a pin. I got the Illinois pin.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tosi, but I'm overwhelmed by the Republican.
It's a running joke every week here, Tosi.
But no, I mean, I stand with Israel. Of course, nobody likes war, right? And I don't like to see any child, Palestinian or Israel, you know, be killed or anything like that. But we have to. October 7th was a terrorist attack from Hamas. Hamas is a terrorist group. Israel has the right to self-defend. My opponent doesn't think so. She did sign a letter, and it's just unfortunate because we have to bring the hostages home, and what's happening is just it's horrific. And you know, we have to continue to bring this to the forefront. Terrorism is bad no matter how you slice this. Hamas is a terrorist group, and I'm against terrorism. It's as simple as that.
Is she trying to get younger voters, like the colleges? Like why would you do that? Because the college kids don't know what the hell is going on. What's worse, Illinois government or administration at a college? Who wastes more money? Pick one.
Well, I'll let you decide that on the voters, but it's really just so October 7th, when you think of what the Jewish people have been through and other races that have been through some horrific things, it's like when she signed the letter, like you said, there was an opportunity when she got more information to walk it back, but she didn't. And that shows kind of just the blatant disrespect. We have to keep focusing on Hamas as a terrorist group. What they're doing is not good, and Israel has every right to self-defend. And if you don't think that, then shame on anybody, because it's just unfortunate. It's very
And to
unfortunate.
bring it back to here, people, because I've heard a few people say, "Hey, look, I'm not anti-Semitic, but
Yeah.
I'm not Jewish, and I don't live in Israel. Why does this matter to me that much?" And this, before September 11th, 2001, people said, "Oh, all that stuff's going on over there. It doesn't affect me here in the US." And we woke up and saw 9/11 here. And that could easily happen here. And these terrorist groups don't just kill Jews, they kill Christians, they kill Catholics, Protestants. I mean, they kill anybody that is not aligned. They even kill other Muslims who don't subscribe to their exact philosophy of it. So this is not even an anti-Muslim or pro-Muslim thing. It is just absolute hatred on a scale that we haven't seen since the Holocaust in World War II. And it could happen. We could wake up one day, particularly, and I want to segue into border security and the border issues, because it is becoming a state issue. But given some of the security issues with the border, they could easily come into the United States. They may have already, and we wake up one morning and we have an October 7th here somewhere in the United States, even here in Lake County, God forbid. So let's talk about that and how you mentioned border security, because that's a big issue now with state government.
Yes, it's a huge issue. And again, just so you know, like when I knock doors, and I've talked to so many Muslims who are against what happened on October 7th. But border security, if you don't have a border, and you've heard this before, you don't have a country. We have to, again, my father's Nigerian. I love immigrants. I think they add to the society, but we got to follow the law. In any country, whether it's Nigeria, whether it's England, every country has a set of rules and laws. And, a lot of people are like, let's just, for once, is this so hard to say, let's put America first? Let's put District 51 first. We have homelessness in Illinois. We have our residents that need help. Can we help our residents? It's not a concept that should be foreign. We have to secure our borders. We have to make sure that we follow the law in terms of immigration. America is the most welcoming country on the planet. It's the greatest country on the planet. And I know why a lot of people want to come here, but we have to follow a process. And border security, and I said this 5-6 years ago on my Facebook. I used to say, buy Made in America, support make sure borders, because when you have just open borders, there's just so many things that can happen that are detrimental to a society. So as far as I'm concerned, this immigration is a top issue. And it's not only a national issue. Like I said, a lot of these things are coming locally. When I knock doors and I talk to people and I ask them, what's on your mind? Taxes is one, definitely. Immigration is another, as well as crime. But immigration is another. A lot of people just feel like, hey, what are we doing? Can we help the people in our district? And can we have a process so that people who do want to come to America, but they come here legally and they follow the process?
The state is spending now. I mean, this wasn't even an issue a couple of years ago, but now state government, Governor Pritzker and the Democrats in Springfield are spending millions and millions of our tax dollars on services because as a direct result of the lack of border control. And even if you accept that, hey, they're here, and most of the people that are coming here are honorable, good people that just want to make a better life for themselves. That's right. But there's a strong argument that the governor and the mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson, aren't even managing this very well. They can't they can't manage the programs effectively compared to some other places in the country that are doing a better job managing it. And there's a lot of mismanagement, which is classic for Illinois. Those of us who have been in Illinois state government know everything that can go wrong does go wrong in state government. So I think, this is an issue that is not just a immigration and security issue, though that's important. It's an economic issue too, right? It affects our taxes.
Yes. And, we got to make Illinois affordable, through property tax relief, through common sense, spending reforms and just common sense, right? And yes, when you have border insecurities, we feel the pinch because everything costs more. And it's just a never ending cycle. And we have to really focus on that. And that's why the three things that I focus on, are, making Illinois affordable, safety and security, and education, supporting high quality education. Yeah.
Tosi, hold on now. Immigration, and Joe, hold on now. Immigration really isn't an issue anymore, is it? Because it's so bad that, and then we're getting to election time, we're getting to game time. Even Biden says, "Whoa, we got to pump the brakes," right? So,
Right.
All of a sudden people aren't paying attention and they'll say, "Oh, Biden's tough," on the borders and things are going to tighten down. I want to go back over to this, the Israel thing still sticks in my craw, Tosi, because look, death is bad. Okay. All right. Preface that. But
is.
two things I look at, and I'm just, you're Nigerian, are you first, second generation, something like that?
So I was born in North Carolina. So
Yeah.
I'm American
Right.
with Nigerian father and an
Yeah.
American mother. But I was born in Chapel Hill, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So you're all
And you went, but you didn't go to North Carolina.
Because like I
Clemson.
said, yeah. So let me tell you all the quick story. So that's why I have an international view and a mindset, because I've just been privileged to live in a lot of different countries and see a lot of different things. So after I was born, we relocated to Nigeria. Then when we relocated back, we came back to South Carolina, Anderson, South Carolina. And I was fortunate enough to study abroad when I went to university, in a study abroad program. So that's why my view and my mindset thinks internationally sometimes. And I see that if we don't correct what's happening in Israel, it's going to have a horrific effect with allies of America. Look at what's happening in Taiwan. We have to really support U.S. allies. We have to make sure our border is secure, because these things don't only affect U.S., it affects, look at Russia and what's going on with Ukraine. We can talk about internet because I'm privileged enough that
Well, the reason I bring up the international, Tosi, and you're Nigerian, the stuff that's been going on in Africa is way worse than anything that's ever happened in Israel. You take everything, the Congo and all that, the deaths that have happened.
Darfur.
Yeah. Terrific. It's terrific.
And why is it that Israeli lives or Hamas lives are more valuable than African lives? Why is it the media, or what is it? Or even Chicago lives? Because I don't care about Israel. I care about South Side of Chicago and all the gangs that are taking over there. How do we put more focus on this stuff where the really big issues are?
Yeah. I think all lives matter. I think there's people in countries in Africa, countries in Europe that are affected by the war, countries in Asia. I think it's just media and bringing attention. But I do think for me, the District 51 matters very much, and I want to put my constituents first. But I think it's media. It's making sure that we, as the United States, support our allies, and it's making sure that we are always doing the right thing. But to your point, I think it's a lot of times just the media. What's the hot button? But I think everybody, even Joe Biden, like you mentioned, is immigration. we have to secure our borders. We also have to, in our district, make sure that, people can live a good life and people are happy to call this place home. District 51 is an amazing, Hawthorn Woods, Lake Zurich, Palatine, just amazing, beautiful place. And we want to keep our residents here. We don't want them going to Wisconsin. We don't want them leaving Illinois. Illinois is, when I moved here, I was so amazed. We have all 4 seasons. Beautiful, beautiful state, the land of Lincoln. And there's no reason why District 51 should not be just the best district in our state and in our nation,
So one of the other things that you would deal with directly as a state representative, this isn't even federal legislation, the so-called Safety Act that Governor Pritzker signed and the most of the Democrats in the legislature passed, though a lot of Democratic state's attorneys are against it. Unfortunately, the Lake County state's attorney supports it. But I think it's a terrible name because it's anything but safe. I mean, you talk to any law enforcement officer here in Lake County, they will tell you horror stories. And all you got to do is pick up Lake McHenry scanner and read the stuff where people are either committing crimes because they were out of jail when they should have been kept in jail, or it's emboldening them and stuff. So what you get down to Springfield, what are we going to do here? Are we going to try and change that, some of this legislation?
Yeah. So, I talked about Jim Karras being a great candidate, but Mary Cole, she's the Lake County running for state's attorney, amazing candidate as well. And, we got to be tough on crime. I'm honest that I'm very happy Safe Suburbs endorsed me. And one of the things, the Safety Act, we have to change that. You do the crime, you do the time. And it's not something that we can joke about. Crime and things that happen with cashless bail and all these things, we have to really look at it. My vote is always going to be for the victims and what they're going through. It's really tough. And, you hear some stories about people that commit crimes. And of course, you want to have empathy of how people grow up in their environment. But at the end of the day, like I go back to, if you don't put public safety first, then you don't really, it affects your community, it affects your businesses that want to do business there, it affects your schools. So I will definitely want to see the Safety Act revisited, definitely.
Is Harper in your realm?
Yeah, so Harper College, I did a tour of Harper. It is in Palatine, great school. I did a tour, a lot of cutting edge technology. Vince Foglia, who's the chairman of my campaign, a great philanthropist and a great businessman, has invested a lot in like their nursing program and medical program. And I was impressed with some of the stuff that they have. A lot of times people look at, 2-year colleges, but Harper, I think I liked the campus. I thought it was great, and the president is doing a good job.
Well, it's a great community colleges in general. I believe they're I don't want to say underfunded, but definitely underpopulated, or there's a stigma to a 2-year degree. But it's so it's the marketing of the brand name universities that burn all the money that's out there. Yeah. What are some ways that community colleges can teach skills where people can go in and whatever they paid for, at least they can make a wage that can pay off what they put into that school?
Yeah, and I kind of talked about this with when I was at Harper, like you said, a lot of people, you go to high school and university, right? Community colleges, especially my generation, it's like they have this stigma that I think is changing, but I think how we do it is we have great, technical skills, technical programs. We have also on the back end, when people graduate community college, you have businesses that are partnering with the community college so that when they're ready to graduate, they find jobs. And then you have people that can really be the champions. I went to Harper and I got this job, and then, you hire other people. I think also there has to be a continuous rebranding of community colleges. There's nothing wrong with going to a 2-year school. It's actually sometimes good for students that might not do well in a big 4-year public school or private entity. But I think just having jobs and skills and really being on the cutting edge of technology, having those investments, partnering with the local colleges and showing students starting at high school what the options are. It's not only a 4-year, you can actually make a living by going to a community college, focusing on a specific field. And I think that once that communication starts and people actually see that jobs are there, the pay is good, then more community colleges will be looked at favorably.
You brought up healthcare. I mean, that's a no-brainer to,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
get a job in. Would it be?
Nursing, healthcare,
Yeah,
yes.
Daycare.
Daycare, yeah. You know what? Harper actually, they have a school of education, and we partnered with one student who wanted some practical experience. And when she called, she said, "Hey, I've called a lot of places. I go to Harper. It's not University of Illinois." And I'm like, "No, come. We would love to have you to come and shadow and see what it's like to work in a preschool." And again, that's why I said it has to be the partnerships with the businesses as well as the community colleges, so that when these people, they want a job or they want an internship and they say Harper College, you're like, yes, I know you're going to be good. I know you have the best technology and you're learning the best things. Come and work for us.
Let's not forget our here in Lake County, College of Lake County, which is
Yes,
also
College of Lake
we've
County.
had Bill Griffin, who lives here in Lake Forest and has been a guest on
Yes.
the podcast, as a
Yes.
trustee there and a very strong champion for CLC
Yes.
over the years. But
how do
yeah,
we
it's all great stuff.
How do we
Yes,
market to
great
the
stuff.
how do we market to the parents where my idea would be, I'm pointing at a problem, I'm offering a solution. It should be, you know what, Jimmy, if you go to Harper for 2 years, the savings that we have on that associates, I'm going to split with you and put it into your, bank account, paid to you when you're finished, when you get done with your, finishing degree or something like that. That would be, the kid would come out with less debt, the parent would be in less debt. Do you have any type of ideas like that where you could rebrand the image or get rid of the stigmatism on that to pick up the population in these first 2-year schools?
Yeah, I think again, and I say it all the time, even in our business, communication is so important and you have to start early. So for instance, at my daughter's school, like Zurich High School, they have some where they're talking to students, talking about all the different options, whether it's CLC, Harper, and, talking to the parents. Because like I said, a lot of people, that stigma is still there, but I think it's really changing. It's communication, it's partnering with small businesses, local businesses, providing jobs, talking to parents, letting them know the options, the costs, and then it just takes a lot of repetition of that communication. And we want parents, a lot of times when you say, "Where's your child going to school?" Right?
Yeah.
You want parents to feel proud. If my daughter was going to Harper College or CLC, I should be very proud and say, yes, you know what? Zena is going to CLC. She's not, she's going to Clemson, but I should feel the same way I'm proud about Clemson and a 4-year institution is the same way I should be proud about CLC, University of Illinois, but it takes time. But I think the stigma is changing. Would you be happy if your child went to CLC?
Damn straight. Hell yeah. I'd have, let me see. University of Iowa out of state, 35, 40 grand a year. That's 80 grand. Okay. Yeah, I'd feel really good about it. And as far as these brand image, the branding, look, knowledge is no longer centralized. If you want to get knowledge, it's everywhere. Khan Academy, genius, genius. I think, and I'm going to preach again, I think it's going to be more about the proctoring to verify that you have the knowledge. Yeah. So these community colleges, I think there could be something there where, hey, if you can option out, do a GED, right, and get a high school education, you're proficient proficiency out going to a regular high school, right? Why can't you proficiency out the first 2 years or a college degree and move your way up? Because artificial intelligence is making it easy. All the stuff that we used to do in the old days, okay, you can do it a couple queries here and there. Critical thinking is going to be what education is all about. Figuring out what questions to ask, but that doesn't bode well for school administration. How can we combine the two? Is it possible? And if you don't have an answer for that, Tosi, tell me how artificial intelligence has helped you in your campaign.
Artificial intelligence. I tell you, one of the things that I'm really for, though, when it comes to education, is just supporting, we got to keep partisan politics out of the classroom. Again, at a local level, I want to support our teachers. I come from my mom was a teacher, my grandmother was a teacher, my daughter is interested in teaching. I think teaching profession is one that is just should be respected. And one of the things that I want to do is make sure that, parents have a voice, continue to have a voice locally in the school system. But also, I'm really, like I said, I love our teachers and the hard work that they do. But artificial intelligence, hey, it's the wave of the future. I could be on this podcast right now. Somebody could get this video, do something and change it and say
transcribe it. Yep.
Yeah, something that I didn't even say, right? So we have to be very careful with artificial intelligence. But I'll tell you, it's coming and we have to be on the forefront of it. So yeah, AI is
what about there's something that happened this past legislative session, and you have the power to do something about it if you become a state rep. The legislature did not renew the Illinois Invest in Kids Act, which was started a few years ago by the previous governor, Rauner. And it was started with bipartisan support, including and then also the Archbishop of Chicago, but they didn't renew that. And we're the first state in the country that got rid of a school choice program.
And that's what I mean by parents should have a voice in where their kids learn. And it's just unfortunate Invest in Kids was terminated in Illinois. There were so many people that really worked hard to try and make sure the legislation, but Pritzker and people in Springfield, the majority Democrats, thought, I guess children's education, I don't know if it matters to them, but every child deserves a quality education. Every parent deserves a voice on where that child gets that education. So I was hoping that Invest in Kids would get reestablished and continue on, but unfortunately it didn't. And that's one of the reasons why it's so important. Elections matter. When people vote in November or vote early for Tosi, I will be a voice for children, all children. I will be a voice for every constituent, and education is near and dear to my heart. And Invest in Kids was a solid program that should have been continued, but it wasn't. And that's why we got to get out and we got to vote. And I'm hoping everybody that listens to this podcast, even if you don't live in my district, you might know somebody in District 51, and you let them know that Tosi Ufodike is the candidate that is for Invest in Kids, that is for low taxes, and that is for safe environment, safe communities. And I will prioritize public safety in Lake County and Cook County. And I would hope that they would vote for me.
Every time I look at your social media, you are doing something. You are out there. It seems like, and you operate a daycare center, but if you can deal with preschoolers every day, you're ready to deal with the politicians in Springfield, because quite honest,
but I'll stop there. But everybody has always asked me, how do you do it? How do you do it? You're everywhere. I will have to shout out to the Kitty Academy team. They are amazing. My staff, my management staff, they're so excited to vote for me. The ones that live in my district, and they really, we've been doing this now for close to 5 years, and they're just best in class. I have a lady that has been with me for 10 years that helps me, Lena. She's amazing. You can never do everything by yourself. It's a team environment. And, I have a lot of local supporters, Ela Township Republicans, Palatine Township Republicans, the precinct committee men and women. I want to
Senator
just
Kirk just endorsed you too, right?
Yes,
Former Senator Mark Kirk.
Senator Dan McConkey, State Rep Marty McLaughlin. I can name all these people, but I really have to bring it back to our local townships. I'm telling my campaign is very grassroots, and we're pounding the pavement. We're locally supported. My Ela Township Republicans, that's where it started. And, the precinct committee men and women, they don't get enough credit. I mean, they're out there knocking doors. I've knocked doors. It's tough in this heat. It's tough, but it's the way you win. It's the way you talk to people. It's the way you know what is going on. And it's just really a team effort. And I really thank everybody, whether it's somebody that knocked on the door, follows me, Tosi Ufodike for state rep on Facebook, on Twitter. I love it. I love talking to my constituents. I can't wait, by the grace of God, when I'm, elected, because there's so much that has to be done. And, I'm excited. I'm excited to get in Springfield.
Tosi,
Really.
today is, help me understand. I'm going to ask something in a smart ass way, and it's by no means disrespectful. It's just look, the premise of the show is we're in a pub. People walk in, and talk about what's going on. Okay. Today's Juneteenth. What is Juneteenth?
Well, I didn't write the law, but
no, but I mean, what is it? No better person to ask than you.
So Juneteenth, Pritzker, again, I'm not an expert on what Pritzker passes.
You're more of an expert than I am. Trust me.
I don't have a landscape into his brain and what he wants for the state government. Again, I go back to so Juneteenth is a holiday, but I go back to local elections matter. Listen, for my race, and I really want to harp on District 51 and what we're doing. This election, there's no reason why this election shouldn't be won this time by me, by the Republican Party. When you look at taxes, when you look at what's happening in the school system, when you look at, the attack on our law enforcement, we have a great opportunity in District 51. Like your co-host said, it was lost by around 3,000 votes. People got to get out and vote. We got to make sure that we're putting people in office so that when you ask questions like, what's this law and why are we doing it? It's representative of our state. So I want to, again, just say, please, in the limited time I have with our race, we're really grassroots. We're really knocking on doors. We respect everyone in our district. And when I'm state rep, I will be a state rep for everyone. And it's really, really important. It's really important to vote this election. I don't want anybody sitting on the sidelines or thinking that their vote doesn't matter or thinking that—
Are you making me ask Joe Weiss what June 19th is?
Yeah.
I'll help you out here. All right. So I know that and the reason I know this is I worked with—
By the way, I love your media training, by the way. That's great. But you know what?
I worked with one of the people who was a big champion of this law and educated me about it many years ago. And it actually started in Texas. George W. Bush was the governor, but it commemorates, a Republican president, Abraham Lincoln. We all know the story. He freed the slaves during the Civil War, but the actual date, June 19th, in Texas, was the first day that slaves were literally freed from slavery. So This goes back, it started in Texas. The gentleman I worked with, Rory Hoskins, who's now the mayor of Forest Park, was a very big proponent of this. He grew up in Texas, in Galveston area, where this actually happened. And it commemorates, like I said, it was a Republican president that did this, and a Republican governor who later became a Republican president, George W. Bush in Texas, was one of the first leaders to commemorate it. So it took on its own. And like any, look, Christmas is about the birth of Jesus, but a lot of people have taken that holiday to do other things like sell gifts and things like that. And every holiday, people use it for other things than the actual message. But I think the message of Juneteenth is great. And I think as a Republican, I'm very proud to have you in the Republican Party. I think it proves that Republicans aren't guys like me and Pete. Right. I mean, they're everyone, right?
She owns a business. She gets it.
Yeah.
Tell me how many Democratic small business owners there are. Okay. A small business owner, Tosi, you can't have 3 assistants. Okay.
Yeah.
You are the assistant. Okay.
Yeah.
But you go to government or school administration, you can have 3 assistants. That's the disconnect. And that's what I'm trying to, this June 19th, I get it. That's awesome. Slavery was
awesome. Horrific.
It's great, but it was a Republican thing. Right? So why aren't there more Republicans? Right? So with African Americans, that's what it boggles my mind. So here we are. Okay.
Well, we have to, like he said, we have to, it's a holiday, it's been passed, and what we can do now, like I said, it's a great thing. I agree with everything he said. And elections matter, you know.
All right.
But back to my election, District 51. So seriously, no, you guys, this is really great because again, a lot of times local elections don't get the airplay. People don't know who their school board, their library, their state rep is. And District 51, we can definitely win this. We can definitely win this, definitely.
Right.
And I'm going to be like.
So what are the different ways people can help you, whether they live in your district or not?
Okay, so thank you for that, sir. There are three ways. First is you can always donate to my campaign. Always. No money, no amount of money is too small. I'm Tosi, Tosi, for FORrep.com. I'm very, very fiscally conservative. I spend the money, yard signs, mailers, getting the communication out. Also, you can follow me on social media. You can volunteer. If you're in the district and you want to help, we do a lot of day of actions. We knock doors. Like I said, our team has knocked over 4,000 doors. I myself over 1,500. So there's so many ways. If you don't have money, like I said, follow me on social media. Share my campaign with 5 friends. Those are ways you can help me. And vote.
Now, which 4th of July parade are you? Which 4th of July parades are you going to be in?
Okay, so thanks for that. So Hawthorn Woods, my hometown, my new hometown. So Hawthorn Woods Parade, I'm going to be marching in. We're going to have, when we marched in the Palatine Parade for St. Patrick's Day, amazing, had so many volunteers. We're doing the same for Hawthorn Woods. If you want to volunteer, info@tosiforrep.com. We're going to have a fire truck. We have tons of volunteers. We have T-shirts. We're going to have flags. We're also going to have people walking in the Barrington Parade. We're also going to have people walking in the Vernon Hills Parade. So we're going to be everywhere. I mean, 4th of July, just like Juneteenth and other holidays, have to be respected. But I'm so excited. 4th of July is just one of those holidays that you feel so good about. You want to get out. You want to just, you're so proud to be an American. You're out there with your flag. I've been doing 4th of July parades before I was a candidate. It's just fun, and you just feel so patriotic. And it's America. Again, a lot of people say what they want. America is the greatest country on this planet. America.
Where's my flag?
Where is my flag? I
It's
keep
right
it
on. It's
flag.
on. You're wearing it, Tassi. You got a flag
Yes, but
right on your dress there.
I keep
Oh,
a
there we
flag.
go. That's an even better one.
Oh man.
I
Yay.
keep, yeah, God bless America. Okay,
And
I keep a flag.
we're
I keep a flag in my home, because and I teach my children. And thank God when they were earlier, they did go to a Christian school. We stood for the flag. We respected the flag. America isn't a perfect country. Of course, it has a past, but it's a great country with great opportunities. And I see why so many people want to come here legally and illegally. But we have to make sure that we are protecting our borders. I think these are just common sense policies, just common sense.
Tassi, we be at the Palatine Hometown Fest at all?
When is that? When is that?
It's a 4th through the 7th. Here, I'll tell you exactly what it is. The reason I'm asking, Palatine JC's Hometown Fest. That's a big one, Tassi. You know why? July 4th, there's a great band called Heart of Glass Blondie Tribute Band playing that would need an MC to announce us. I don't know if you know anybody.
That's Pete's band.
Oh yeah, Pete. I figured it was Pete's band. Because Pete, I heard you play the guitar or something.
Yeah, or something. That's what it is. But if you happen to be around, you want to come on and announce this, Tassi, we're here for you.
I would always like to, and just so y'all know, a little trivia about me. Years ago, I did a podcast years ago, and I did podcasts and I interviewed. So I was trying to support women that own small businesses to give them, a lot of times women, we own small businesses, it's tough to get funding. It's tough to get media coverage. So I would have women own small businesses on my podcast and things that were of interest to families. Like I interviewed Elmo, and it was so much fun. So I know the hard work it goes. It looks easy when y'all do it, but it's tough.
Not that much work. It really isn't, Tassi. But you bring up women's small business, and I'll leave this one so you can do your media training and spin out of it. But it's not June. It's Juneteenth. The pendulum has really switched on this black and white issue. I'm really pissed about Aunt Jemima. She was a great woman. What? See, Joe, that is not the right that is not the right response. They canceled Aunt Jemima, and that was one of the strongest products. She was a great small businessman person, and it's wiped off the face of the earth. You could say no comment on it, but we can't be doing that anymore. You see any more of that in the future, or you can start your spin now.
I love that you say my media training. No, but listen, okay, extreme politicians and Springfield insiders are failing us. Anything too extreme. I'm not, to be honest, as a Christian, I'm not a part of cancel culture. I think people make mistakes. I'm not God. I don't judge. I try not to judge people, but I just think anything extreme and far left is just, or any extremes, far left or far right is just, I just think there's no place for it. And there are a lot of things that you can try and, erase and turn a blind eye to history of some horrific things, but extreme politicians, and it's just not, I'm not an extreme politician.
My contribution to Juneteenth is Nancy Green, the Aunt Jemima. Great. Look her up. You guys, Joe, you laugh. You go look up her story, and wiped off the face of the earth. And it's
I can't eat. Whatever the name is, I can't eat that stuff anymore because I'm diabetic. So.
Oh. But no, I know her story actually. And again, elections matter, and they really do. They really do. I always tell people when I knock doors and I talk to people, and I'm like, "Who are you voting for?" And they're like, sometimes, "Oh, I'm not going to vote." I'm like, "You guys, you don't vote. You can't complain."
Yeah.
Right? Elections matter. Elections matter. I say it again, from the local to all the way at the top. Locally, you got to come out so that things aren't changed and people aren't replaced and you signs with a U-turn isn't
Yeah,
taken
yeah.
down. I mean, when you hear some of the things that are happening, it's like, wow, like who are making these decisions?
Well,
and unfortunately in Illinois, we gotta change that and vote some good people in like me.
you're not speaking to the outliers because you can't do a damn thing about that. They're going to do whatever they want. It's the middle. It's the the moderate. We want to hey, the common sense thinkers, if it's even out there anymore.
Yeah.
Be careful what you vote for.
Yes, be careful. I love that. Be careful what you vote for. I love that.
You like that? You heard it here, Tosi. All right. What's your URL again, Tosi?
Okay, Tosi for Rep. I want both of you guys, if you're not following me, follow me on Facebook. Donate some money, guys. You're big podcasters.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Pete never sends me his royalty checks, so
$48
Pete will have to be the one.
$48 do anything for you, Tosi?
Hey, you know what? Everything helps. Everything helps. Everything helps.
All right, I'll tell you what. I will pay you a stipend if you introduce us July 4th at Palatine JC Fest. There you go.
Oh, wow. Wow. You're too kind. No, I would do it just because I think you're amazing.
Oh,
so
yeah?
you might pay me that.
Right.
Just tell 20 people that about me, please.
Done.
Or 50.
Well, we're going to do we're going to have more than 20 just watching this podcast. I guarantee you that.
Yeah. No, you guys are great. You're good at what you do.
Thank you.
You're
great. And we're great. I'm glad people will now say, I everywhere I went, gotta have Tosi on the show. When are you going to have Tosi on the show? I am so glad we got you on. And I can't wait to see you take the oath of office in Springfield next January.
Be careful of what you vote for.
Be careful of what you vote for. Boom. I love it.
Thank you, Tosi.
Tosi, thank you so much.
Guys. Thank you.
See you July 4th in Palatine.
Yeah, let me check my schedule, please.
Oh, yeah. You already said you're coming.
The Lake Forest Podcast is supported by viewers, listeners, and businesses just like you. Michelle Parno has lived and worked in Lake Forest for over 2 decades. Michelle's lending experience, when combined with her real estate expertise, makes her an invaluable asset to her clients as they navigate their home buying or selling process. Call Michelle now at 847-528-8721, 847-528-8721. For the best cannabis in the world, look no further than Iliad Epic Grow. Owned by Lake Bluff's own Rich Ruzich, they are a cannabis cultivation center focusing on hard-to-find small batch products that will delight both the occasional user and ganjier. When visiting Michigan, ask for it by name. Epic Products, exceptional process. For more information, email info@iliadgrow.com. Laracy & Company CPAs, founded in 2010 by Lake Forest's own Brian Laracy, specializes in tax preparation and bookkeeping services. Earning the People Love Us on Yelp award, their process is straightforward. Just upload, review, and file. For a free quote, visit laracycpa.com now. That's LARISEYCPA.com. I'm excited to share with you something special from our Lake Forest community, the Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa, located at 775 North Bank Lane in Lake Forest near Wisconsin Avenue. This just isn't any spa. They offer an amazing blend of traditional spa services plus the added benefit of medical procedures and treatments. In a relaxing and luxurious spa environment, you can enjoy a range of cosmetic and aesthetic treatments. These are all performed under the supervision of top medical professionals. The Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa provides skin care, facial rejuvenation, body contouring, laser hair removal, Botox, dermal fillers, chemical peels, and much more. What's great is that each treatment is tailored not just to enhance your appearance, but also to address specific skin concerns and to promote overall well-being. So if you're looking to pamper yourself and take your beauty routine to the next level, give the Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa a call at 224-768-8028 or visit them at their location on North Bank Lane. It's an experience your skin will thank you for. We'd also like to say we're thankful for our Patreon supporters, Otto, John C., Helen, Herrick, and J.M.